Hey, Shareef, thanks for joining me today. Before I kind of dive into my questions, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of give a little bit about your background?
Sure. My name is Shareef Mahdavi, located in Pleasanton, California. I have kind of several hats that I wear currently. One is I run things at Laser Eye Center of Silicon Valley as the chief experience officer, sometimes the chief executive officer, depending on the day. And I also have a training program that is based on a book I wrote several years ago. It's called PX90, based on Beyond Bedside Manner. And it's all about helping practices deliver outstanding customer service to help them take the patient experience to a whole new level and, in fact, transform the practice while they're transforming patients' lives.
I love it. And that's really precisely why I wanted to kind of interview you about what practices should be focused on right now as the market seems to be tough and volumes seem to be down. I love the fact that you have tangible, hands on experience running a practice, but then you also, for many, many, many years, have been consulting with other practices on increasing and improving the patient experience. And so let me start off with this really simple question. Given all your experience, all your insights, and all your knowledge, if a practice is experiencing low volume right now, their consults are down, their surgery volume's down, what would you have them focus on if there were two or three things they could do to kind of work through this challenging season?
Well, I think the first thing I would encourage them to do is not give up, not wave the white flag and say, oh, it's beyond our control. I mean, there's some data out this weekend that suggests that a lot of people who have been sitting on the sidelines in terms of discretionary purchases are coming back in. The
Hmm.
shock of whatever's going on in politics and tariff and all that is kind of worn off. So that's a good signal. Um, but regardless of what's happening in the external environment, it's so important not to surrender and not to just say, hey, I can't control it. That's a mindset.
Hmm.
That's a mindset that says, regardless of what's going on out there, we're going to continue to improve. The truth is that those companies out there in the world and those practices out there in the world that are focused on customer experience, and in our context, that'd be patient experience, tend to do well in any environment, in
Hmm.
any economy. Why? Because they are already standing so far above their peers in terms of how well they're taking care of patients that they're much more, I'm going to call it, insulated from the ups and downs of an economy. And the data are very clear. The data are very clear. If you look at companies that focus on customer satisfaction and they're known for being the highest in the industry, they outperform all their peers in terms of market value for the publicly
Hmm.
traded companies. And the same thing holds true. So the second thing would be to recognize that the way to get better is not by buying another piece of equipment. It's by taking this time when things are slower to re-examine what it is we're doing every day with our patients, to take an honest look at that. And that can be hard to do, but we show them a pathway of how to get there, Kate.
That's really good. So I guess on that point, if a practice said, okay, that makes sense, we're going to audit, we're going to evaluate, we're going to kind of turn over every rock and stone in our
Yeah.
practice, and we're going to kind of analyze the patient experience, where would you have them start?
Well, I think an easy one to look at is the front room
Hmm.
that people walk into. I mean, traditionally it was called a waiting room. And that's really something that you don't want to say in 2025. Nobody wants to wait for anything, right? Especially when the world's information is in our smartphone. Basically, you
Hmm.
can get it instantly. So I would start there and I would take an honest look and try to come in with a fresh set of eyes, ears, all of our senses. What's going on in that room? How
Hmm.
are people being greeted? Right? Is your receptionist also trying to do double duty and be on the phone? You got to get that phone out of there. They can't.
Hmm.
They can't pay attention to two at once. Both are important, but the person in front of you is very important. I think of what happens in that front room. Again, don't call it a waiting room. Change the name to start, right? In that reception area, that is the time when you are making the first impression. And your receptionist is truly the director of first impressions, right? That's where it all happens. That sets the tone for the whole visit. So I like to start there. You
That's
can
really
look
good.
at how well are things organized? Is the seating comfortable? Do we offer people refreshment? Is it easy for them to get to the restroom? I mean, all these kinds of things. What happens when a technician or whoever is going to start that appointment that day, what happens when they come out? Are they standing at the doorway yelling their name and seeing who looks up? Or are they going up to that patient and personally greeting that patient, welcoming them, and asking if they're ready to get started, and also introducing themselves as a member of the team?
Yeah.
These are the things that can be done. They are all common sense. I didn't invent this stuff, but it's amazing how few practices actually do it.
It's really good. What would you say the impact of a patient experience is, when the patient first reaches out to the practice, whether they come in via the website, whether it's a phone call? Does the patient experience start at the very first touch point? Or is it really when the patient really is kind of face to face with the practice where the patient experience journey starts?
No, I mean, in PX90, and by the way, that is patient experience transformation in 90 days. That's the genesis of that name. And PX90, we talk a lot about what happens before the visit. So, yeah, your website needs to be good.
Hmm.
And it needs to be really good. And then when people come in, they go, oh, yeah, this is like what I saw on the website. This kind of feels the same. So that's one thing right there. The second is go further upstream than your website, your reviews. If
Hmm.
you have few reviews or a lot of bad reviews, you're not in a good place, because it is too easy for today's consumer to simply say, you know what? Let me let me swipe left, to use that what Tinder
Hmm.
language,
Yeah.
swipe left instead of swipe right. I'll go
Hmm.
see what other people are offering. I'll go look at other providers' websites. I'll see what other providers' reviews are like. And if I see that, yeah, I like what people are saying about that doctor and that practice, I'm going to go there. And in fact, I will tell you, this happened to me personally year or so ago when I had to go and get something that people of my age had to get, a colonoscopy. And the doctor referred me to a particular site. And I went in, I didn't like the ratings. I didn't
Hmm.
like the reviews. I went and found another one in the area who had incredible ratings, and I went there.
Hmm.
And I made my decision. I made my choice on that. And I'm glad I did. Right.
Yeah.
That's happening all day, every day with today's consumer when they're thinking about what doctor they're going to contact.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I think another area, and I'd be curious to see if you agree or disagree with this. I think another area people could improve on is what's the patient experiencing when they call your practice. We recently just mystery shopped all of the clinics we work with by just dialing their number and recording all the little steps along the way. The wait times were really, really bad. In many cases, we'd get voicemail, and the voicemail would say, "Hey, well, sorry, we're tied up with another patient right now. We'll call you back." And we tracked if they actually called back. They didn't call back. And so if like you're a new patient and you're reaching out to a practice, and that's the phone experience, long wait times, you never get a hold of anyone, you actually don't get a call back, surely that impacts the patient journey and the patient experience right off the bat.
Well, yeah, it does. And it's negative. It does not affect it in a good way. It's interesting. The data that you've been able to capture is what we've known for a long time. Most practices overestimate how good they are, whether
Yeah.
it's on the telephone or in front of the patient. They just overestimate it. It's part of human nature. It's a bias we have. We actually think we're better than we really are.
Right.
And yeah, I guess we can sit in that and say, okay, we're really good, but the truth is we're not, and it's hurting us. It's costing us business, it's costing us new patients, and it's costing us the referrals from those new patients who have a good experience.
Hmm.
So it's time to make some change.
Level
That's
up.
what I say.
I love what you said. If things are slow in your practice, this is a perfect opportunity to really dive in and audit everything you're doing and level set everything so that as the market does improve, not only are you taking advantage of every opportunity you have now, but as the market improves, you've made some improvements and you've leveled up, your practice, to move forward. So really, really good
Well,
stuff.
no question, no question. And there are so many things that can be done, right? A lot of things. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of little changes that can be made. Most of them don't cost money. Most of them are just changing the way we tend to think about
Hmm.
how we do what we do,
Hmm.
right? And I'll share this with you. People, if you just think about our own behavior as customers, as consumers, when we go out, I can't tell you what I had at the restaurant 3 nights ago. I can't remember what I had, but I remember that the waitress was really nice.
Hmm.
Okay. I remember how I was made to feel. I don't remember what was said. I don't remember what I ate, what was done. I remember how I was made to feel. That is exactly what happens in medical practices. We tend to forget a lot of stuff, but we remember how we were made to feel. And the whole reason for focusing on patient experience, of course, yes, you're going to do better. You're going to see better financials. I think the doctor's happier. I think the team members are more engaged. But the real reason is, guess what? Patients feel better. And they feel better. They're more likely to do what you say as a doctor, to follow the prescription.
Better outcomes. Yeah, that's great. Shareef, if someone wanted to learn more about PX90 or just connect with you individually, where's the best place they should go?
pxmovement.com is the best place to go. They can take the PX quiz. They can schedule a discovery call with me, and we'll be glad to help any way we can. And again, it's all about, let's change the way patients experience going to the doctor. It does not need to be painful. It should be good, because most of the rest of our encounters in our life are when we're going out and engaging.
Very good. Shareef, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kade.